they come right here. So
Correct.
Brent, why don't you tell us a little bit what you do here and what goes on at the plant?
Sure. I'm the general manager here at Republic Services. We operate 2 plants here in St. Louis. The one you're at here today is in Hazelwood. We also have one down at I-55 in Bayless. These 2 plants recycle the majority of the single stream and recyclables collected in St. Louis. This one being the larger of the 2. We do about 10,000 tons a month here of single stream recycling and about another 6,000 to 7,000 tons a month of source separated material like cardboard and printer's waste.
That's great. So most of our fans and followers know recycling's important,
Right.
but once they put things in their blue bins at home, what happens when the items come
Yeah,
here?
it just magically goes away, right? So I think people would be amazed if they see what happens for us to break it back down into the commodities that we need to sell to the open market. So basically when it gets here, we dump it on a very large tip floor. We dump residential single stream on one side that we pick up from the curb in the alleys, and we dump commercial single stream in a separate pile because the way we sort them and what we recover are different.
Okay.
But what we'll concentrate on today is a residential single stream. We load it into a metering device, a large drum that gives me the perfect amount of feed all day long to my machine, so we run our most efficient. The first thing we have to do is run it through something we call a pre-sort room.
Pre-sort.
Our pre-sort room. Pre-sort is where we have to remove all the materials that we didn't ask for. Because if those materials make it onto the machine, they can cause damage or they can clog my machine and shut us down. So we're picking things out like wood, trash, large pieces of metal. You know, all we ask for are metal food cans, but we get brake shoes, we get shelving,
Wow.
we get a lot of large metal that could damage our machine. We also pick out film. Film's the big one, right? From a small plastic bag all the way up to garment bags and large stretch film. All that material can wrap around our equipment and cause issues. Large plastics. We ask for plastic food and beverage containers and household items, bottles, but we get in little tykes. We got a lot of slides in. I think people are fixing their swing sets. We also, laundry baskets, all that material has to be pulled out first. All things that we do not ask for.
Gotcha.
Because if it makes it past that first set, it could really cause damage to our equipment.
So after the pre-sort happens, that's with manual labor, correct?
That is all manual labor.
And then we go on to a series of machines.
The machine after that does 90% of the sorting. We go across a series of what we call disc screens. We have 6 different series of disc screens in the plant that will sort things by size and shape.
Okay.
The first set of screens are larger metal discs spread about 12, 13 inches apart. They pull all the cardboard off the top of the line. Everything else, as it bounces, falls down and through. So at that point, paper and all the containers are going to the rest of the line. The second set of screens are rubber discs that through gravity and friction will pull paper up over the top. Anything 3-dimensional, like an aluminum can or a bottle, bounces backwards. And at this point, we separate 90% of our fiber, paper, from the food and beverage containers that we ask for.
Okay.
The paper that comes over the top of these lines ends up on a pre-sort line, which is mainly what you're looking out outside the window here. All the sorters out here now in the plant, they're all quality control people.
Gotcha.
Meaning the machine has done the work to separate it. They're looking for that one item that may have made it to the wrong space where they can pick it up, put it in a bunker that will take it back where it belongs. So that one plastic bottle that made it over, that 100 of plastic bags that make it over, we can pull out there to where we're making a clean fiber to sell to the world.
Okay, I think we have a question come in.
We do.
Yeah.
So Mandy wants to know how often the machines get jammed, and Mary wants to know what happens at the facility when she recycles her plastic bottles.
Okay. We try to run about 90% uptime. Right, we're always going to have issues where we shut down, whether it's mechanical or what we call operationally. Mechanically, that doesn't happen as often as operationally. Operational downtime is literally caused by us jamming the equipment on materials we didn't ask for.
Gotcha.
This time of year, we see a lot of garden hoses.
Garden hose.
People go out, it's spring, they're hooking them up, they leak, they look at it. I think their intentions are good. It's plastic, it's metal.
Yeah.
I think I should recycle it. A 50-foot garden hose wrapping around our equipment could shut us down for 2 hours.
So how often does that 2-hour shutdown happen?
Right now, like I said, we want to run about 90% uptime. We run about 80. So we're losing about 10% of downtime a day for operational issues because of people giving us plastic film, garden hoses, tanglers. That can wrap around our equipment that we have to physically go in with razor blade knives and cut off the machinery. Very dangerous for our employees.
Definitely. Well, and what about the things we do put in there? So like a plastic bottle. What happens? I put it in my bin, it gets here, it makes it through the pre-sort. Where does that plastic bottle go?
Once the containers are separated from the paper. They go through probably the coolest part of the plant where the most technology is. They hit a large magnet, which is right outside the window. It's a spinning magnet that runs above the belt and literally sucks the steel cans right off the line and deposits them into a bunker. The next thing they do is they hit something called an eddy current. Really sophisticated equipment. It's high-speed magnets that spin and create a negative field that will repel aluminum. You know how you take two magnets and
Oh, it's like
you
the
can't push them together? If those were strong enough, you had an aluminum can in the middle, you could literally slide that aluminum can across the table.
So what about like metal hangers? I think that was an audience question. So metal hangers, those are metal. You said there's an eddy current and magnets. Can we put that in our recycling
By the
bins?
time a metal hanger goes through your recycle bin, through our trucks and hit the floor, it's probably not a hanger anymore. It's probably now a 3-foot long wire.
Danger.
Right?
Danger.
And that wire could poke my employees. That wire can also wrap around our equipment. So we do not allow metal hangers or plastic hangers in our material.
So that's one of the tanglers.
That's one of the
You
tanglers.
mentioned garden hoses, plastic bags. We know metal hangers are a no.
Right.
Are there other common tanglers that jam the equipment and shut the facility
Yeah,
down?
I just, as much as I love the holidays, and I enjoy Christmas lights on my house, I certainly do not like them in the single stream, right? And we get a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah, we get a lot of Christmas lights over the holidays. Anything long like that does not belong in the single stream.
Okay,
I
so
think we had the question about the plastic bottles.
Oh,
right?
right.
The plastic bottles are then sorted on something we call our optical sorters. And the optical sorter is very similar to like the infrared camera at the grocery store, right?
Oh.
And it goes through a very fast, it takes a picture and identifies the bottle by chemical makeup and density. And as it falls off the end of the conveyor belt, there's a set of 250 air jets. The computer says, number one PET water bottle. As it falls off, it shoots it with an air jet and separates it from the
Oh.
material.
that's cool.
It's pretty neat. Very efficient.
Sounds very
probably
high-tech.
about 95 to 98% efficient. Does a great job on recovering those soda bottles. We're standing on carpet made by Mohawk Carpet. We sell our PET number one bottles to Mohawk. And probably everyone watching Stand on Carpet
It's made with recycled plastic.
probably got recycled plastic bottles in it.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. That's something I didn't know.
Yep, and then there's a set of 3 of those optical sorters. The next one will recover like your milk jug, the number 2 plastics, milk jug, detergent bottles, and then the last optical will recover the rest of the plastics, the 3 through 7s, and your aseptic packaging.
Oh, okay.
Get
So
the gable top cartons.
yes, cartons are recyclable.
That's right.
That's great.
Yep.
So here the numbers matter, but for us, we just need to stick with plastic bottles and containers in our home recycling.
Yeah, I really don't need you flipping it over and looking at it. I just need the mentality to be more of the 6 main items that we want.
Stick
And
with the 6.
Stick with the 6, please. So
Yep.
those items, it's
Yep, it's plastic bottles and containers, paper, cardboard, metal food and beverage cans, our beverage and food cartons, and then the very last one, I always forget one.
glass bottles.
Glass bottles and jars. There we go.
There you go. And basically what we're looking for is what you normally use in your household.
Okay, so as long as we're sticking with the 6 items, we can avoid contaminating or jamming the equipment here. If anything makes it through the system, what happens with those baled items?
Yeah, I mean, we have to inspect every bale we make, and if
Okay.
they're too contaminated, we normally have to trash them. And our contamination rate is high right now
Oh, wow.
because of the amount of things we're getting that we don't